Good evening. Welcome to the Dugout. They always say that victory tastes sweeter the next day, and this is the next day. Though we were here with you today itself till about 2 a.m. yesterday, but glad to be back because once the game was over, we got so involved with discussing about the game that the macro picture is something that we'd like to touch upon today. We have one special guest in the studio today, someone you haven't met before. Remus joins us. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for many years. Used to be with ICC earlier, and now he is with the company that is powering the Indian cricket team in the sense. You can see their name right on the jersey that he's wearing, Apollo Tyres, the new sponsors.
Quite literally taking it forward.
Yeah, they are the proud sponsors of the Indian team. So we'll talk to him as well as to what was the thought process, how did they come on board, and now that they're on board, see what a great start they've had with the World Cup. But before I get to Remus, I'll also introduce our man on the ground, Siddharth Vishwanathan, joins us from Ahmedabad. He was supposed to be in Delhi today, but he's loved the pav bhaji and the cheese pizza of Ahmedabad so much that he's refused to come back. He said, no, I'm going to stay another day there, even though the team has left, players have left. By the way, have they left, Siddharth?
Yes, they were all leaving in batches today from the Taj hotel where they're put up in. I mean, Gautam Gambhir had a flight to catch at 4 o'clock, so he left at 2:15. Then players were all leaving in batches. I mean, they weren't all going in one go. I mean, Arshdeep, Abhishek, they were all going to go in some other place. Kuldeep Yadav was going to go. So they were all not going together, but they were going sporadically. So they have left at this point. Although Suryakumar Yadav is in Gandhinagar at this point. He's also enjoying the sights and sounds. He's also there with the trophy and all that. So Suryakumar Yadav is still in the city.
Okay. The other question everyone wants to know, by the way, Sarat Chandra Yalamarti is saying that I thought that this will be the rest day for panelists, but here they are working. There are no rest days, sir, for us. And obviously not on the day right after India's won the World Cup. So it's in fact...
Twice. It's a Monday. Think twice.
Yeah. And sir, and don't remind my team about that. They're anyway very upset they got one off day less.
No one's upset about that. We're used to it. Final week? Final week? No.
Actually, you're lucky that the whole World Cup you had 2 days off.
Exactly.
Just on the final week you got.
Yeah, exactly. Final week is you live with it. You know that's part of the...
The one who's upset must be the one joining us from Ahmedabad because Monday is a designated off. The world can come to an end, but Siddharth is off on a Monday, as you all also know.
Taxes.
Monday, Tuesday.
So Siddharth.
Wrong.
Poor guy is
Totally
working
wrong.
on a Monday. Why?
No, it's totally wrong. I mean, when India won the World Cup on a Sunday, how can we take it off on a Monday?
It's happened. Test matches are on, and on the final day of the test match or the final deciding test match is on a Monday, and I see the sketch and Siddharth is off. So if it can happen at that time, how does it make
The day after India-Pakistan.
India, day after that.
next day he's off.
Asia Cup final. Where is that?
Asia
But
Cup on Sunday.
India-Pakistan... But India-Pakistan is not a rivalry here. What are you
Also
talking
Asia,
about?
Asia Cup, I'll have to defend him. He wasn't off the day after that. I was. It was my birthday. So I remember. He had to work.
What about 2023?
Less said the better.
2023, huh?
Sorry, one thing I wanted to know from you, Siddharth, I'm guessing all our viewers would also want to know, very important point. Will there be this open bus parade or something like that?
What I can confirm to you guys at this point is there has been no talk about an open bus parade or a victory parade whatsoever. Because simply put, now people are disbursing to different parts. And you only have about 20 days to go for the IPL. Plus 1 week you have to eliminate all that because they'll be joining the camp, they'll be doing all of the other things. So in 12 to 13 days, I think you have had a very rigorous build-up to the T20 World Cup. For 3 months, you have been playing non-stop. You would want a brief passage of rest in this period. What I can tell you is that there has been no talk about a open bus parade or a victory parade. There is also no talk of whether the Prime Minister will meet the players. Because we don't have a specific date at this stage. Because I'm sure the Prime Minister would want to meet with the players because they won the T20 World Cup. But there has been no talk about that. So at this point, I can say in Ahmedabad, there is no talk of a open bus parade. There's no victory parade.
Even if the team is meeting the Prime Minister, you will not be the designated reporter to go and cover that. After all your coverage from Ahmedabad, you will not get. Somebody else will be sent to cover that if they meet the Prime Minister.
Of course. But there is, I can just tell you the date.
Also, I highly doubt any of that seems likely.
No, but I
Yeah.
did speak. I incidentally happened to speak with one of the guys who does cover the party and the government affairs. He said that it was definitely mentioned
That they will meet.
that the Prime Minister would want to meet, and something was being talked about as to how the players can come into the national capital and a quick meeting can be done. No plans though of a bus parade and all. None of that happened.
So between the two of you, you can decide who will do that. Obviously, Siddharth is ruled out.
I can make that decision very easily. They covered the games.
Shit. Anyway, one guy is out.
Ah.
Yes, Siddharth, you wanted to say something. Sorry, we cut you off.
No, I mean, nothing of that. I mean, we are still reliving all the glow, the afterglow of what has happened since yesterday. And I'm sure all you guys are really, you've not stopped beaming your 1,000-watt smiles. Because see, this is a great time to be an Indian cricket fan. Look at it. I mean, 3 years. As I mentioned, no team in the history of cricket has managed to win 3 consecutive ICC events. The mighty Australians have done it, but in the middle, they had lost the Champions Trophy. In white ball cricket, I'm talking about, not in any other thing. Australia won 2 consecutive ICC events, but not 3. India have done it from 24, 25, 26. So, this is indeed the golden period for Indian cricket at this point. And I don't think we have relived that. Even in the 90s, in the 2000s, in the 2010s, we never had such a dominant period. And that is why something is surreal about this particular win that has happened at the Narendra Modi Stadium. I mean, you cover an ICC event, you have so many. Nikhil, you would know 24, how glorious it was. 25, it was just a stamp of approval. 26, the dominance continues. So, those memories, it just takes time to absorb. And even now, I'm starting to absorb. I've witnessed an India win at home in an ICC event.
Okay, we're going to touch upon that question because Siddharth has brought it. Is this the best team that India has assembled or the best ever team in T20 format? I think Siddharth also said it's actually the best white ball team. I think he was of the opinion. We'll get to that. But we'll start with Remus. Before I even dive into your role as someone from the title sponsor, you've also seen plenty of cricket. As I said, at one time you used to be working for the ICC as well. Amongst the most dominant teams that you've seen, this Indian team?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just look at the last 3 years, right? And I think I was reading somewhere about how the IPL should have shaped Indian cricket and T20 cricket stronger. Yeah. And you're actually seeing that only in the last 3 years or last 4 years or so. Because prior to that, IPL started in 2008. So 2007 we won. And then it took us till 24 to again win the trophy. So I think that way, this is definitely one of the stronger teams. I think the way they balance themselves out. The planning is not just for the tournament, the planning is a couple of years in advance. So you're seeing that definitely they're looking at it very much in a corporate structure, corporate way. The biggest change for me from the time I used to be at the ICC and stuff like that is now there are 3 teams. So it's not just, back in the day India had 1 team. So 2007 when we won, it was essentially the same team, 3 or 4 players who were not there, the seniors were not there, etc. And again, when we went to 2011 and we won there, the Test team and the ODI team, T20 team, pretty much the same, yeah. But today, if you look at it technically, there's just Harshit who's playing in all 3 formats. I mean, he's injured right now, but other than that, he's the only sure shot in all 3 formats.
Yeah. Or Jasprit Bumrah.
But Jas also has not been playing regularly.
Yeah, I mean, he chooses to play.
He chooses, fair point on that, but otherwise.
Yeah, you're right. Aksar used to be, but he's been a bit out of.
He's been
out as we've seen.
Shubman was.
Yeah.
Shubman was, but he's
Shubman
talking
is.
So was, Virat was, and Rohit was, and
Jaddu was.
And Jaddu was.
Jaddu should have, but yeah.
No, but now I think Jaddu would have found it tough with Aksar the way he's been performing. You could only play one left arm spin bowler who's an all-rounder, and Aksar has been outstanding. I still can't believe that they dropped him for that one game. I mean, good that they course corrected it.
And they course corrected.
It happened in one game. They realized that, and see his performances after that. Okay, back to that.
Kuldeep
Kuldeep doesn't play any format. Yeah, he's part of the squad. But he doesn't play in the 11. He's part in.
You will now see him play regularly. 14 matches he's guaranteed to play over the course of the next 2 months. In the jersey that I like.
You're saying 14.
I said I hope
Harshit
at least
itself
looks
is confident. See, he's confident in Delhi are only playing 14. He's that assured.
At least 14. Rather, I said at least 14.
Yeah, he's a Delhi
gotta
Capitals fan.
Watch out, Siddharth.
His selection of teams, I mean, Manchester
I know he
United.
supports United, so that's a good choice. Delhi.
Good choice, no, but it's not good for his BP and all. Lah. He's always under stress.
Though
He's recently started watching Formula 1 a little
He
bit.
works
I
with
just had
you.
one advice for him. Don't support Ferrari.
No, but Ferrari's had a good start.
What good start? They were dominated in the race.
No, 3-4 yeah, from what they were last
From
season.
what they were last year, 5-6. Very good.
Not 5-6, 7-8. Lewis Hamilton was like
Hamilton was rubbish last year. The Clerk still had 3
Hamilton
podiums.
was number 7. Like he was fixed number 7.
Tala for a reason.
Finishing 4th is much better. So at least that's still an improvement.
But still, don't support Ferrari.
No, I'm not. The thing, for all these years of picking teams and all those choices haven't really worked out well. I'm not pledging my allegiances to any other sporting outfit. I think
So you're sticking with Delhi Capitals.
Delhi Capitals, Manchester United, the Indian team. I think it stops.
He
right
works
there.
with you. He's used to stress. So
That is true. That's true, Siddharth. He's like the most fun laughing on this job.
He can. No, he's far away. In a land far away.
Okay, no. Back to the question. Siddharth has answered it. Remus has answered it. Yes.
So, I mean, see, this team which you're looking at, I can't remember a team being this consistently dominant. I cannot. I mean, we grew up. I started watching cricket in the early 2000s. My first memory of a World Cup was 2003, where you were winning pretty much everything, but the 2 games you lost very convincingly, very horribly to the Australian team, the benchmark team of that era. Then you saw 2007 again. They did the same thing in the World Cup. Yes, you won the T20 World Cup. But at that point in time, T20s, you didn't realize how big it could be. IPL came. Everything else took place in between. And now you're finally seeing, I think it took years of actually letting the benefits come. It took years for that interest to compound. Now you're at a point where it's compounding big time. And I think you're finally reaping the rewards. So yes, this team is right up there. I do not remember a team being this dominant across white ball formats. Difference to be said about their test matches, but in white ball cricket, yes, there's no team I've seen as dominant.
Here I spent a lot of time yesterday night thinking what it perhaps would have felt for the average Aussie fan in the early 2000s to be winning trophies for fun, and even on a night where you won an ICC trophy, it would just feel as if you won a bilateral series. Let's be honest, 2026 or should I say early hours of the 9th of March weren't the same as the early hours of the 30th of June 2024. There was a stark difference, I can say for myself, and then it got me thinking. Yes, this is dominating from a sporting perspective, extremely dominating what we've seen over here. Let's not forget you won the Champions Trophy and the Asia Cup. The trophy may not be there, but that's fine. It's still a win. A win is a win. And then it got me thinking that where do I rank this team? Now, of course, that conversation at some point had to begin because this is serious domination. But to whether this team is better than the Aussie team that at that time we're talking about, this team not having dropped a single T20I series for more than a year and a half. That team also, I think, I don't remember the number, maybe Siddharth or one of you guys can chip in, had that record of going 23 odd ODI matches unbeaten, whichever that record. 21. And then when I look at what they had achieved from 99 to 2007, see, the thing is, these World Cups are happening every 2 years and there'll be a new winner, or you'll just, you can plan for 2 years, and that's far easier, I think, or comparatively, I think that's the easier thing to do than planning for 4 years. That requires consistency for 4 years. With 2011, we've seen the movie as well as to how You had to take those calls starting from 2007, 2008 to build a team that could give you results in 3 years' time from now. So for the fact that that period was longer, it requires a lot more in winning that competition, which spreads across 50 overs. There are so many nuances to that format, and the fact that, again, 3 World Cups, a three-peat is a three-peat. You yet to do that. You're showing very good signs. But even then, I think that Aussie team with those 3 World Cup wins.
No, but you're looking at white ball, no? I'm talking about T20 cricket.
T20 cricket, absolutely, no doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt. No doubt. But at the moment, as Siddharth also earlier said, you're talking about the early 2000s.
But that's Siddharth's opinion, that they are the best white ball team. I want to know, are they the best T20 team?
T20 team they are. We've seen enough of T20 cricket. We were late in our teens and all when this whole T20 cricket began, and I can say that you've seen IPL, etc. You were waiting, as Remus also said, where is that fruit going to be of the IPL? You waited for 14 odd years, that fruit never came, and now suddenly you won 2 out of 2. You've seen so many teams over the years, but none as consistently good as this Indian team. The hallmark of their greatness, I think, is the fact that they've not dropped a single T20I series.
So before I chip in, Siddharth, why? I think I agree with Harshit in terms of the greatest ever white ball team. You'll have to go with the Australian team. 50 overs to dominate like that, I don't know. But why were you of the opinion this is the best white ball team ever?
Because look, I am looking at the overall macroeconomic picture of what Indian cricket team, every age group, every gender is undergoing at this point in time.
Okay.
Look at it.
Like women's champion, Champions Trophy champion.
Under 19 champions, under 19, both women and men. So that is why you looked at it. Even now, you won the 6th time you won the under 19 World Cup. The women's T20 World Cup, when you look at the under 19 women's T20 World Cup, both editions you won 2 times, and it all began from 2022, 2023. So that is why the white ball setup that is there in India has undergone a huge sea change from 2023. This is a team that from 2014 onwards until 2022, you are having heartbreaks. 2023 also, you had the ultimate heartbreak. Now, I agree. See, in that era, there was no team as great as Australia. 99, 2003, 2007, I think that record will never ever be broken. It will be very hard to break it. But look at the broader macroeconomic picture of how India is developing as a white ball superpower across all spectrums. I can't think of the 2010s like this. I can't think of the 2000s like this. 90s, 80s, no way. 80s, you had a brief period, remember. 83, then you won the 85 World Championship of Cricket. You are winning test series in England. You are winning or drawing test series in Australia. So, barring that brief period, from 23 to 26, they have dominated not just across gender cricket, not just age cricket, but also on the broad ICC thing. One thing that needs to be ticked is the World Cup, which could happen in 2027, looking at the way the form is at this point.
This T20 team, I think this is the greatest ever T20 team. No disrespect to Dhoni's team, no disrespect to Rohit Sharma's team, but I think, the difference is 2007, and I covered that World Cup. 2007, it was, some things were very hard to believe. Oh, you've beaten England the way you did. Oh, 6 sixes, wow. Oh, you beat England. You beat the team with Matthew Hayden and Adam Gilchrist. Wow. It was like a massive boost for us. Something that you could really believe. Pakistan, you've not beaten once, twice in the tournament. You beat them in the World. Wow. So a lot of that was many thought you were punching above your weight, right, on most occasions. 2024 also, though you had moved really, I think you had progressed from where you were in 2007 and 2024. You were one of the top teams still. When you beat again I was there, when you beat Australia and St. Lucia, you were like, wow, you beat Australia like that? That is a statement and a half. Then you beat England, wow, you beat them in the semi-final because England had beaten you in the semi-final previous one. And then you beat South Africa with a Klaasen in form. So everything was like great. See, we are going one step closer to being the best team. That was the thought that you had. This World Cup, barring that one loss, which I think was a shocker, I think every game you went in, you were like, oh, this India is winning, including the final, including the semi. So which tells you our expectation on this team is so much higher compared to those previous teams. In that sense, this team has spoilt us. It spoilt us with the consistency that they've shown in T20 cricket. This is, then I can imagine what Australian fans would feel at one point when they were playing that, oh, this is done, this is done, this is done. I think Indian fans are feeling that, and I think the numbers tell you that 85% is their success rate in T20s for the last year and a half. That is insane in a format that is never known for its consistency. It says that you've got 3 250 scores, 2 of which came in the semi-final and the final of a World Cup. Absolutely insane number. And I said it, I'm very happy. I know a lot of you are not happy that it's a one-sided final, but I'm very happy it was a one-sided final because I wanted it to be proven to the world that to get 250, you need to have the talent and the batting also. Otherwise, everyone had started, oh, this is World Cup in India, they are fixing the pitches, they are getting pitches, the ones that suit their team. Okay, fine, there's a good batting pitch. New Zealand, many said, will have a better batting chance because the pitch gets better. They should have come close to like England did. They didn't. Why I'm happy the final panned out like that. It then shut all the critics and told them, you are so far ahead of the curve. It's not the pitch, it's not anything. You are the best T20 team in the world. But being the best also brings with it a bit of jealousy factor, and that's what I want to know from all of you, that I've also seen, and this comes from mostly overseas media, not very happy. In fact, dare I say, some Indian fans also not very happy with the win. No, seriously. You know why they're not happy? Not because India has won. Like, what is this, yaar? This is no World Cup. You are so far. That sort of a
domination in sports is always boring for the winning side, right? In the sense, when you looked at Formula One and we were talking about Schumacher, and when Schumacher was
I agree.
Right? The sport became boring because
sport became boring, but no Ferrari fans complained.
I'm just saying the fans might not complain, and no, there were some Ferrari fans who stopped watching because like we are going to win, right? So what's the point?
Yeah.
So you would start following
Which
it.
Which is perhaps the reason why, except Shane, many would like to have an Arsenal win the Premiership this time. Because you're just bored. The Manchester City domination is such that you're bored.
Be prepared to quit social media for a summer if that happens.
That's a different thing altogether. If Arsenal are to actually do the unthinkable and cling on to this 4-point lead that they have, but yeah, again, it's boring for the winning team, and it's agonizing for those on the outside perhaps, because if you're a neutral or somebody with skin in the game, you want there to be a new winner. Okay, you see domination, etc. Like after a point, Real Madrid winning 3 Champions League back to back from 14 to 17, there was no fun in that. You knew that team was just so good, and
even with that, the games weren't boring, right? They were close games. They were coming from behind. They were putting in that effort. So yeah, they had that winning mentality. They could come through. They could beat even the toughest opponents. I think that's what's required, right? And I think with India right now, we're basically going out there and dominating to the point where we know where to put the pressure, where to take off the pressure and kill the opposition.
I'll tell you another thing. This is maybe a little bit more of a micro-analysis on Indian psychology. We prefer being underdogs.
Really?
Everyone loves an underdog story. We are not used to being the hunter or the hunted. We're used to being the hunters. We're used to going around saying, no, we want to prove that we are the best. We are the underdogs. We are fighting from underneath. We are fighting from below. You're not doing that in T20 cricket. You are comfortably by some distance the best team. And this is new for us. We don't know how to deal with this emotion.
So, but I would then, want everyone, and again, for those who are not really feeling the excitement, and I understand, you're right in your analysis that sometimes because, you're chasing something, you achieve that, and I think Eamon said it best when he said that domination sometimes brings with it a bit of boredom, comes along with that. But I just want to remind everyone, for those of you who are still not very excited about it, saying what's the big deal, there's only one country that's playing, my only reminder is just go back a few years. After that 2013, that Champions Trophy, we were all dying. Someone please go and ask Virat Kohli, would he want this dominance? He was a very good captain. You had a very good team. You would come close but not win those ICC trophies, right? That one thing they desired as a captain, or even fans. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes public memory is short. We forget. Go back 5-6 years and we used to be craving for that ICC trophy. Now what has happened is suddenly, because Siddharth says the best white ball team, you won the 2024 World Cup, you won the Champions Trophy. Women also went on to win that title. You won the Asia Cup undefeated. Now you've gone and won the T20 World Cup. So now it feels boring. It's much like, you wanted to climb the Mount Everest, you worked really hard, but once you reached on the top, you said, oh, what do I do? I've reached here. What is my next achievement? But hello, I just want to remind you that enjoy this dominance and, savor it. Don't let boredom set in. And I'll tell you as a Barcelona fan that, when there was that period where you dominated football and every game, even La Liga games used to be, I used to get bored sometimes. I don't want to watch La Liga games. I'd probably watch just Champions League because you're winning every game. Now you reached a scenario where Getafe also beats you once in a while. So now that excitement is back. But then I also miss those times, right? Where it was taken for granted that you will reach the business end of Champions League, the semi-finals, the finals.
Should avoid football
savor
analogies
it.
Because that domination came courtesy the two walloping that United got.
No, but I'm saying in
We should
general,
just avoid football connotations.
all I want to tell any Indian fan who's not happy right now, that savor this. It doesn't last very long. There will always be ups and downs in sport, and there will be a time where some other teams will catch up. I know financially we are the strongest country in the world, but that does not always necessarily mean that you will be the most dominant team. So enjoy this generation, enjoy the way they're playing T20 cricket. You had a one-sided final, so be it, yeah. As long as India has won the
I think the boring aspect to it, I think that's actually testament to the brilliance of this team. That tells you that they made it look boring. Any other team would perhaps not have been able to put on this kind of a show. They finally played the team that we thought we were getting for all these 9 matches. You waited for match number 8 and 9 for India to make it look easy, scoring all these 200 plus scores. When has it ever happened? It's never happened.
The fact is, it's not been boring because the individual performances, when you're looking at
Of course.
have been brilliant, right?
Yeah.
The openers clicked, you had Ishan click, so right down. And then the bowling, I think the boring part just came from the fact that the game was over by the 6th over or 7th over of the second innings.
In that boredom, I think what you're trying to say is that it's sad that the sport doesn't have a good enough team to compete with this Indian team.
No, they have good teams. That's why I said
We lost
one
to
thing
South Africa.
one thing that I would change about this World Cup is that one freak knock by Finn Allen actually. South Africa were the second best team. They should have made the semi-final. Should have made the final. See, look at New Zealand. They scraped through in that Super 8. Just had one win. It was that net run rate versus they lost to England as well. Right, that net run rate really helped them then to qualify. South Africa, on the other hand, would have been worthy finalists. It would have been a good game. I still feel India would have won. I'm not saying that South Africa would have beaten, but it would have been a much closer contest, and they would have had a better chance of upsetting India than New Zealand. That Finn Allen knock, however nice it was, also kind of ruined the tournament because, New Zealand, really not a match.
I'll tell you another reason why perhaps fans are not enjoying this as much. There's an ICC tournament every year.
Yeah.
24 you won an ICC tournament. 25 you won an ICC tournament. 26 you won an ICC tournament.
I don't think
boring.
It's boring because we are winning it, maybe.
No, it's boring because there is no novelty to an ICC tournament anymore. I watch or wait for the FIFA World Cup because it comes once every 4 years.
No, but that's
same for an Olympics.
So FIFA has a tournament every year. We just don't pay attention to the under 20s and the women's and the Confed, those kind of things. So the way they're structured is different.
Of course.
There is a nation versus nation tournament happening every year for FIFA in football as well.
True, but that's happening in age group. Age group though was happening even in cricket.
No, that Nations Cup came about.
Nations Cup
that's,
is
that's Nations League. That's UEFA. That's a different thing.
No, but it's Euros, right? So I'm saying nation versus nation. In that sense,
there'll be Euro, Copa.
Even Euros happens every 4 years. That's the thing.
Yeah, but every 4 years then will become.
They
there's
balance
a
it
crescendo.
out.
Champions Trophy squeezed in now quietly. Of course, it's never.
That tournament shouldn't be on the calendar. It has no relevance that you have a 10-team World Cup and an 8-team Champions Trophy.
That's a different conversation altogether. Or a 20-team World Cup this time.
Not T20s, but Champions Trophy is played in ODIs. You have a 10-team World Cup and 8-team Champions Trophy. May as well play a 6-team tournament also. Call it Little Champions Trophy.
No, but I think there
this
is
used to be called Mini World Cup.
It used to be called. I think the Champions Trophy will probably not exist in the next slide.
That's what we thought the previous decade as well. Once it was gone for 4 years, it was in cold storage, then it comes back again.
8 actually.
Yeah, this keeps happening. But I think that boredom has to do with the fact that now you've won it. The drought is over. Just ask, let's say, Pakistan fans out there, how desperately would they want an ICC trophy?
I don't think anyone is not
They
happy
would
that we
desperately
won.
take the ACC Asia Cup.
They've kept the trophy.
Yeah, so much so that they're not giving it now. But I think there is a direct correlation because see, once that hunger is done, again, the satiation will always be there. The hunger will be there till the time you don't get your food. Once you get the food, the hunger dies, right? The hunger died.
No, I think people still want to win. We are very happy that we won, and we'll continue being happy that we won. I think that the point is more that we're just cribbing that the excitement in the game wasn't there. You know, where
It wasn't a good.
Let us go to Siddharth also, na yaar. Come on, yaar. Yes, Siddharth. He's been moving his arms.
Swatting away the insects that are coming.
Acha,
That's okay,
I thought he's like, I want to talk. Sorry, you're squatting the insect.
swatting the insects.
then we'll continue.
this-
Okay, Siddharth.
No, you have nothing to say then. That means sorry. I
Or
thought,
maybe he was
I
just
have.
fanning
I mean,
himself for
Acha,
the
he
heat
does,
that
he
he
does.
maybe
He does. Sorry,
facing
sorry,
right now.
sorry.
I mean, this whole talk of dominance, I mean, the fans, the so-called fans who are racing this bogey about, oh, dominance is making the sport boring here. One, they are not sports fans. Two, they are those same fans who will gobble up all the colonial readings that are there. This is the post-colonial mindset that is there. Those publications that are jealous of India's rise as a power are peddling all these kind of things. You didn't have a problem when Australia was dominating in cricket in the early 2000s, did you? No, at that time, oh, what a dominant champion side. Now the same Indian team is replicating that dominance. You're finding it a bit problematic. Oh, there is no buzz. There is no this thing. India is fixing the pitch. India is fixing the conditions. It's really. And talking about dominance, let me tell you one thing. One cruel fact that any fan won't be able to digest. When there is dominance, the sport flourishes. Look at table tennis. Which is the most dominant nation on the planet?
China.
China. Has the sport suffered? No. Chess. There was a 50-year period of Soviet domination. Did the sport die? No. Look at women's chess. 30 years China's dominated. Has the sport died? No. Look at all the other things. For example, the America's Cup sailing. America dominated, the United States of America dominated for 132 years. But has the sport itself died? No. In fact, it is one of the most elite competitions in the world. Look at that period when the LA Lakers dominated or the Chicago Bulls. Did the sport die? No. All this talk about dominance making the sport boring that is peddled by a section of so-called fans, they don't understand the very nature of the sport. Look, as Nikhil pointed out, as you guys have also pointed out, okay, let's look at our neighbor, Pakistan. Won't they want to go back to those days when Jahangir and Jamsher Khan were dominating squash? That was a golden period of squash. You used to love watching Jahangir and Jamsher Khan. Now they are nowhere. Always remember, in the dynamics and the parallels of sport, there is always a period of dominance, but then there will come a time when you will have a major dip. Ask Pakistan in squash. Ask New Zealand in rugby.
Arey, ask Pakistan in
They are
cricket,
crown
yaar.
jewel.
And
Talking
hockey.
cricket, ask them in
And
cricket.
hockey, yeah.
Hockey, there is
And
still
hockey.
not qualified for two
Hockey.
Olympics. Yeah.
Exactly. So look at it. There will be a period when a nation dominates, but then they'll have a big downfall. Ask New Zealand rugby, yaar. Their dominance is gone. They're no longer the greatest team on the planet when it comes to it's South Africa, the Springboks.
But I will agree
Dominance
with
is to
Siddharth
be-
on one thing. If you have that one dominant team, it gives other teams a benchmark to emulate. So it doesn't perhaps make it always as boring. When you had an Australia in ODI cricket, you knew, like, okay, this is your benchmark. You have to beat them. So what do you have to do to
Which
be
is
better?
why Shane,
Yeah.
which is why Shane, I was not at all happy with the way how FIA handled the Schumacher incident. 5 years of dominance here, where you've never had. Okay, when Hamilton was dominating, why didn't the FIA step in at that time?
Oh, they
Why
tried.
didn't you install
Mercedes
the curbs
outdid
at
them.
that time?
They
Exactly. The biggest blunder the sport of F1 did was to impose those curbs in order to stop Michael Schumacher's dominance. And the sport has never recovered after that. Yes, there have been close calls. It still remains one of the most elite sports. But you saw one cautious tale of having to stop dominance, you diluted the sport.
Exactly.
Cherish dominance. Because it's India, I know that certain fans will have that post-colonial mindset that yes, oh, we will only trust what the British write, we'll trust only what the Australians write, we'll trust only what the New Zealand papers write. But boss, look at what we are. We struggled for 9 years without a trophy. That time you're all crying, oh, India is not a superpower, they're just an economic power on paper. Now you are both the economic power and the power on the field. Yet you have a problem. That means this philosophy is simply called Angur Khatte Hain. That's it.
Yeah, Reema, sorry, you wanted to say something.
No, I was going to say that I don't think that the problem is dominance in sport, right? Because dominant teams will find a way to win, right? And therefore, it doesn't. If you look at all the sportsmen or the teams you've mentioned, didn't have it easy all the time, right? There were close calls. We've already spoken about that with all the teams that happened here. Even with the Australian team, there were games that they found a way to win and put the pressure on, right? And till 2011, it was always like, let's not meet the Aussies in the semis or in the quarters, right? They know how to take out, they know how to win a knockout game. So I think I don't think anybody has a problem with India having won. I just think the game yesterday, we all got bored, not because of anything else, because it got over by the 7th over, 8th over. So as fans, we were all waiting, to pull it through till the 17th over, 18th overs. Have, like, for example, the England game, when Bumrah came in and took that over at 15, right, and killed the game. So we wanted that, but that didn't happen, and that's just us wanting the excitement, I guess, right? Because that's what T20 is all about. It's taught us from 2007 about excitement, about these bowlouts and sixes and everything else.
We got our excitement in the semi-final. Anyway, before we dive into the questions, let's ask Remus about the sponsorship as well, and that's the reason why he's here. Firstly, great timing. Yeah, you come on board and wow, couldn't have timed it better. Better than Virat Kohli's cover drive in terms of timing.
Yeah, 3-on-3, right? I mean, we started off with the women's, then we got the under-19s, and now the men's T20. So. No, I think it's been great, right? As a brand, we've been looking at cricket for a while, and I think the timing was right more than anything else. And we got lucky, obviously. And no Indian company or company that has business in India is ever going to say, "Hey, cricket sponsorship doesn't work for me." There's a clutter with IPL maybe on jerseys, etc., and just the kind of brands that you get there. But the national team, you can never go wrong, right? So I think it's just going to go from strength to strength here. We've seen, we launched that campaign, Har Safar Mein Dum Hai. In fact, that's also all about journeys and from where the players have come to where they are, and it's all about having gone through tough times and therefore getting that success, which kind of also is kind of in the conversation we were talking about you need to have that little suffer and have some dum to get out
English
of it.
suffer.
The English suffer. Otherwise, you don't really, enjoy the save of the victory in that sense. So yeah.
Okay, now to the most important question. As sponsor, you get tickets?
Let me add jerseys.
No, jerseys. Okay, jersey.
Let me tell you.
No, it's not. Jersey, if I want, I know where to go and get one.
Let me tell you, since
there is not even a comparison.
Since the time
but there is not a
folks upstairs
comparison.
got to know there are Aporo people coming, jersey.
Does not matter. Jersey, you would still know where to go and get one, and it's easily available. Does anyone, whether uncle, aunts, anyone know where the tickets are? It comes on the no. It comes on the app. It's a serious thing. It comes on the app. People can't buy it. Fans don't get those tickets. Even if I have money to pay, I can't get it. So it's a serious thing. You ask me jerseys, I can go to the market, take out my credit card, not Steve Ticolo's, my own.
No, you can also take your 10-minute app and it's delivered to you.
I'd get delivered in my house. It's pretty easy. That's fine. If tickets can be done like that, you price it and at any level. If I can pay the money, if I love Indian cricket, I'll pay the money for it. But you don't know how to get. That's why there is no comparison. To the question, do you get tickets?
not for ICC tournaments, unfortunately, no. Bilaterals, yes.
So don't send me messages. I can't tell you how many messages I get. That please get me from our regular viewers. I'll show it to you. Somebody says, it's my birthday, sir, can you get me one ticket for the final? But this is get me one ticket for the, that's all.
So I'll give you the numbers of the official ICC resellers. That's what I do. Everybody asks me for tickets. I send them those numbers. Like, guys, please talk to these people, and they can
So
help
ICC
you.
tournaments you don't get.
Not at all. No.
So you get like India matches.
India home bilateral matches. Yes, that's
India home bilateral.
Home also is key.
By the way, the sponsor name is not there in ICC tournaments, right?
on the leading arm.
Oh, it's on the leading up. It can't be here.
It can't be there.
That's the regulation. Yeah. And of course, when there are bilateral matches, then it'll be there.
Yep. The bilateral games, home, away, whatever, it's there on the front of chest and on the leading arm. And ICC tournaments are only on the leading arm. But I think with the kind of viewership you get at ICC tournaments, you're still in a good spot, and
With the leading arm as
the
well.
leading arm as well. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Tell me honestly, I mean, because you guys pay a princely sum to get sponsorship, is it always about just, brand recollection for the fans? Like, okay, your name's there, or does it actually translate into sales as well? Does it?
So you asked me about tickets, right? So all the tickets that we get are kept for, we do incentive programs with the business partners and dealers.
So there you go.
So-
Listen, if you're listening, so become a dealer. That's one way to get the tickets. Sorry.
Fulfill your targets.
and that actually works, right? Because you correctly said this, right? Tickets are a premium, so that's the only way we use it. So most of, I would say 90% of our tickets we would use in business partner programs and not B2C in that sense. And Apollo as a brand, luckily for us, we don't suffer from brand awareness issues. We've always had top
everyone
of mind.
knows.
Yeah. If you want to see the sponsorship working, it's about business, and I think so far so good. We've seen that. We've seen business grow, and at the end of the day, for a category like ours, you're going to wait till the end of the financial year to see how it actually pans out, and look at our numbers then.
Okay, final question before we take our viewer questions. You guys are sponsors of two big sporting teams, the Indian men's cricket team and the Manchester United Football Club. So can there be some sort of collab in the future?
100% they can.
And
be,
here this time there's one that happened over there now when the Indian team had
No,
gone.
that was, they just went for a visit. Collab can be, they might play or something. Collab.
Yeah, hopefully.
Let's wait and watch, right? Making me spill beans on live television.
That means they're thinking about it. I mean, it's an obvious thing. And some of them are like massive football fans. By the way, your coach in Gautam Gambhir is a big United fan.
Yeah.
We don't let him forget that one choice that he made. We keep
Messi or Ronaldo?
Even Rashford.
There's been former captains. MS is a United
is a
fan.
Yeah, MS is
Jasprit
UV
Bumrah.
is a huge.
UV is a
UV.
yes.
In fact, MS used to go and watch games in the stands. Put on a jacket coat and just go and watch at the Stratford end. UV as well.
JB.
JB. Quite a few of the boys. In fact, I would think even Virat is a closeted United supporter.
Really?
I think so too. Yeah.
He's never really said it.
He
But the
was
biggest football
the-
nut is Kuldeep Yadav.
Oh yes.
The man knows tactics and for every team.
Yeah.
Every team.
He supports Barca.
Yeah, he does. He does. But he watches every team. I mean, English Premier League, if it's Newcastle versus Swansea City, whatever it is, he'll watch.
Rohit also, by the way.
Rohit's a Madrid fan.
Real
Yeah,
fan.
yeah.
Big
I
fan.
know,
And
I
I know he plays them on FIFA.
PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I had a conversation with him. So his childhood friends and him, they of course play PlayStation, and they also have that fantasy football amongst themselves. So they play so he keeps looking at how many
good is
points
he?
I.
Fantasy reminds me. Your chief selector is also United fan.
Yes,
Who plays
very big. Yeah,
FPL?
Ajit.
Yeah, Ajit is.
I used
correct.
to
He's a United
play
fan.
it with him back in the day.
So is
From the
Rohan.
same
Rohan's a
league.
very big
Rohan's
fan.
a huge.
Rohan.
Rohan had come for our event in Bombay as well with his kids. So yeah, Rohan's a huge United supporter.
Correct, yeah. Mr. Gavaskar said in one of those interviews, they asked, why do you have to work? He's like, because my son is a Manchester United fan and I have to get him tickets for all the matches. That's why I have to work. Okay, let's dive in. What have we got today? Ooh, that's a lot of questions. Let's start with AJ. AJ says, I don't understand that how you give a time of live on their own and then you come late. Best part is Sid is also not there in studio today. Who does such things? You're absolutely right. The man who is mostly responsible for our starting late is also not here. And so please answer this question. Did you put Dugout for 6:30 today? No, 7. We said 7 and we were live at 7. Yeah. Today we had a change, AJ. We put it out. They put a post on. Community post was put out that we had. That's because today, unlike most days when Siddharth is responsible, today I had to do a TV show, and so I told them 6:30 is television show. We'll do at 7. Chirag Patel says Shayan
again.
You did not answer yesterday's question. In 2007 50 over
27.
227 50 over World Cup, Yashashvi won't be carried as a third opener. Second wicketkeeper will be the opener. Monet will be crucial for next World Cup.
No, I think I didn't answer it because it's still early days. You don't know right now if your two best over batters will make it. It's reached that point when you talk about ODIs.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a reason I haven't answered it.
Ashish Dar says this is a team of champions, no comparison, but this team reminds of the 83 World Cup winning team. So many champion players like Kapil, Sandeep, Yashpal, Chika, Madan. Yeah, I'm not sure, Ashish. That team were the underdogs.
They were proper underdogs, which is why, as I say, they get celebrated as much as they do.
No, and they deserve to be
absolutely.
celebrated. It was
the first.
Yeah, also alien conditions, playing in England, nobody gave them a chance. And the West Indies team of those years, by the way, we were talking about dominant teams. We spoke about Australia. Yeah. They won 75, 79 World Cups. 83 also, odds-on favourite to win that. That one bad day that they had on the final.
Was it just 20 minutes? Proper bad day.
Yeah. I mean, no, actually it was bad day in their batting because bowling they got you for 183, so they should have won on a canter that game. Chirag says, Nick Jasprit, no need to play T20 bilateral up to next World Cup, and 50 over also he can play bilateral when World Cup is coming near. These year only Jassi's goal should be test, not play 50 over this year. That's a good point.
It's a good point because your WTC final hopes are hanging by an absolute thread.
Which I think he should not play red ball then.
I actually agree. I think you should only play ODIs.
It's almost sort of done, yeah.
Done,
Let's be
done.
honest. You need
WTC is
a
done.
5-zip. You need a 5-zip against Australia to be able to do that.
Forget about it.
Yeah, you may be playing at home, but that's not happening.
Yeah. He, by the way, in all of this, he has to play the IPL now. That he cannot miss. So he has to play all games there. After that, you can take a look at it. Umansh says, sir, I have few lines for people who wrote India off. बेहाल इतने रहे हैं कि अपने ही हाल भूल गए. ऊंची उड़ान भरने वाले परिंदे गुलेल भी मार भूल गए. हाँ, गुलेल की मार भूल गए. एक मैच क्या हारे हम, दुनिया वाले हमारी टीम की धार ही भूल गए. Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Too good, yeah, Manshu. If this is your original, then you should pursue writing poetry. Seriously, very, very. है ना? Like our in-house producer in Saransh, yes, you can. मैं ये कहाँ जा रहा हूँ? What was that? ये कहाँ मैं ये What was that line, यार? ये मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ? Something was that line. Some poem he had come up with.
Oh God, that day I was like, तुम लोग मेरे बारे में क्यों बात कर रहे होते हो यार हमेशा?
Manual, okay. He says, hey guys, love the analysis. You've all chosen careers because of your love for sport and have had success at that. Do you ever miss watching a game purely for fun without having to analyze deeply? What a brilliant question. It has to be the best question I've ever had.
So, it's mind blowing.
You know what? I always, like, just this final was happening in my house, my wife, kid, they've taken out the India jersey. We had a screening in our complex and they're getting ready. And I always I've never had one single chance to go watch a match like this or just sit back, carry my favorite beverage and enjoy a game of Indian cricket especially. Other like football matches and all I have because we don't cover it right. But quite honestly, never had the chance to do that for an India game. And that's something that I miss sometimes. We're always working. Always working. Always. I can't remember the last India match that I would have just watched without having to. I may not have been in studio, I may have been outside, but still had to do the post-match. So then you're always watching the game. No.
That's even this thing. I remember you're telling us that a couple of these times where you were covering these big finals, you could never see the winning moment. Like for 11, you say. Yeah, you didn't see it because, of course, you had to be outside the stadium with the
No,
live.
I can't remember seeing the winning shot ever. because for us we have to go live.
Yeah.
And so I leave
Yeah.
like 19th over or something.
Siddharth's also joined the club now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can empathize with you guys because just getting into a stadium now, sometimes you're looking around and look, that branding's off, that is there, oh, that is really cool. You know, you're looking at all the branding around, seeing all the brands. So your attention is there. Okay, obviously football is different. You kind of watch the game and it's very different. But
Yeah.
cricket, you get distracted quite a bit, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even on TV, for that
Yeah,
matter.
yeah. But like you can still, for you, let's say, you could still sit in the lounge and knock out a drink or two and still be working, right? Like
Yeah.
we can't be doing that.
You can't be doing that because you don't want to see something.
Yeah, we will be live after
You-
that.
Just go to crack one. Like,
Yeah, you can. So long as it's not swear word, everything goes here. Everything goes. Okay, AJ again.
Scroll down. He says Harshit supports DC. DC doesn't support themselves. How can a team win 4 and 4 wins then can't qualify for playoffs? DC is Pak, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh of IPL. Oof.
Let him answer that.
I'm not taking the last bit for sure. They're better than Pakistan. They're better than Sri Lanka. They're better than Bangladesh for sure.
At least they're playing the tournament. No?
They
Bangladesh
play in the
didn't
tournament. Yeah, they play the tournament.
They're better than Bangladesh, but Pakistan and Sri Lanka have actually won tournaments. Just saying.
Bangladesh also is one and under 19. So
Give it time.
Technically.
Yeah.
Give it time.
We have.
like RCB also won.
RCB won.
Ah.
RCB had won before that in the women's WPL at
won,
least.
yeah.
There also, they reached the final and then they lose.
Four
Four finals.
finals.
Yeah, South Africa also lost.
This is the women's team to have become a proper case study now, yeah. On teams making it to 4 finals and not winning. There's got to be something serious. You tried changing
New
captain.
Zealand.
And New Zealand never in their history would have done 4 straight finals, na.
Not straight, but they've lost a lot of finals.
So speak of
And let me point out
and
one more
Siddharth,
thing.
this is where I will say not all domination helps you take the sport forward.
Yes,
You need
Siddharth.
new champions.
Siddharth.
Talking about New Zealand, you should have expected to be a one-sided encounter because whenever they have reached the finals, barring 1 or 2 instances, they have always gotten walloped. Look at 2009 Champions Trophy.
15.
Australia beat them by 9 wickets and 15, yeah, over within, 15, 16 overs to spare. And look at how they have propped up even in this particular edition of the T20 World Cup in the final. So with New Zealand, beating them in the final is actually easier than in the semi-final.
Okay, we got to run through the questions. Got Ashish Dhar says,
He says something.
great cricketers will come and go, but Kapil is the greatest. That's a good one actually. Kapil is, but everyone can pick a goat. For me, it'll all and Kapil Baji I have the highest regard for. I've written a book on the '83 World Cup, so I have very fond memories of researching for that and doing it. But for me, the goat will always be SRT. 100%. Yeah.
I mean, but if we're talking
Pick
about
your goat of Indian cricket.
Sachin, but for captains, Dhoni.
Yeah, but you have to pick a goat. Goat is one.
Go to Sachin.
Sachin.
He's-
Such an easy.
Such is life.
SRT. Yeah. Okay. Dhanush says unbeaten 2024 team was better than 2026 lost to South Africa.
Unbeaten is an overrated stat. It's a
Yeah.
very overrated stat. People say that Arsenal team in 24-5 or 2003-4, sorry, who won the title. Oh, I'm sorry, 12
Invincibles.
draws. 12 draws.
Invincibles.
12 draws. I don't care. 12 draws. 12 draws. You may as well just be playing boring football that you're playing now. 12 draws. Sorry, they played for it.
The City team that won with that margin.
City teams that have won, they've been they're Chelsea teams who have won scoring. They lost 1 game due to a dive. That is better. Liverpool 2019-20, Liverpool of last year, far better teams. That Arsenal team were good, not the greatest. That's why I say unbeaten as a stat is very overrated. This 2026 team on paper.
No, but there are draws in football. No cricket.
But then in 20, even this team. So then by that logic, 2026 lost to SA, but then you beat the team that beat SA, no? So doesn't that make you the better team anyway?
Yeah. No. 2024 was also outstanding. But as I said, that team, you could envision a loss.
Yes.
You could, and it wouldn't be a shock. This team, that one loss was the biggest shock ever. How could this Indian team lose? That's why. Okay. This is Gaurav.
Umanch first.
Umanch, okay. He says, by the way, loved your show with Rajdeep. One humble request, please continue with that. It provides a lot of freshness among the cluttered shows. Yes, Umanch, we'll do that. Hopefully, the first episode was done. I think the second episode we'll record in a day or two. So thank you for the feedback. Gaurav Jain says, Nick sir, Sanju to CSK now looks like a great deal. But we said it even at that time, great deal. CSK rocking it. Shivam Dubey, Sanju.
What will CSK do
Ritu.
now?
Ritu, yeah. No, but I'm saying this World Cup.
You needed Sanju to go to CSK so that he could revive. Now man's already revived.
Yeah.
Ayush Matre, by the way, the captain of the under-19 World Cup winning team.
Yeah.
Devolve Brevis.
Yeah.
CSK actually have a very good core.
Yep. Rakesh Bhushan says 18 months time we will have ODI World Cup. That's difficult not to crack. Gill looks unimpressive till now as skipper. Will we have a new coach and captain, preferably Rohit for his marquee event because ODI is not CN hit the ball format? I mean, to quickly answer all of that, I think coach now, Gautam's got the contract till 2027, so he's definitely going to be there. And he's got white ball success. Champions Trophy, Asia Cup, now T20 World Cup. There's no reason to change that. I think test is your Achilles heel. That's where you've had a bit of a problem. Maybe that is, but Indian cricket doesn't believe in split format coaching, so I don't see that change at the moment. As far as captaincy is concerned, I had said at that time, keep Rohit as captain. There was no need to remove him, but they have taken that call. But I guess, I think now Shubman will be. Now it's too late to make that change. Because Shubman, the player in ODI, isn't that bad. See, Shubman, the T20 player, came under scrutiny. But in ODI cricket, he's pretty good. So now you've given him the captaincy, I think you'll say, I don't know. Anybody else?
However, I'm just, I'd just say maybe now it won't be surprising anymore, and maybe we're all in for interesting times because this selection committee, this team management has shown you that they can take tough calls, not just prior to the tournament, but in the middle of the tournament as well. And that's where I think with one full year to go, a little more than a year in fact, never say never.
I think they could potentially change simply because they would want a captain who holds this team together.
Rohit, then go back to.
Yeah, potentially. I
Rohit's
see that happening.
one of the best captains you have. So why?
Because even when you look at the T20 team and when Virat and Rohit retired, and we all thought Hardik would come in as captain, but they went to Surya just I think to hold that team together, somebody more grounded, or at least who seems grounded in that sense.
Feedback was the word used.
Ah.
Player feedback was good.
Which essentially came, and I think Surya said it also, right? Thank you to Rohit.
Yeah.
So he did say that.
That is true. Okay, Shivam, if you want us to take more questions, please. Abhishek Rajawat says the feel of ODI World Cup trophy still hits differently. Absolutely agree. As I said, Harshit has still not gotten over 19th November. Keeps talking about it. Yesterday also asked him now, to Smiley said no, 19th November. Vishy sir is khada hua aaj bhi wahi. There he is in Ahmedabad, same place. Ashish Chandelier says, should ICC move on from Sunil, Ravi, Ian and bring new faces, fresh perspective in commentary, and should T20 World Cup be held every 3 years?
I mean, see, yesterday Ravi Shastri made an absolute hash of the final call.
Yeah.
Absolute hash of it, my good God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unlike Ravi, right? For that.
Yeah. He's actually known for.
Mixed a few things up.
But I think otherwise Sunil and Ian have been good, and I think we're getting the new young guys also, and like DK and all have been pretty good as well. So I think, I don't know. At one time Ravi told me it's all about that day, right, and how you're feeling, and sometimes the producer gives you that just because of the feel that you have. So when 6 Sixes was happening, or even in 2007 when he did it, it was just because he had the role and the vibe happening that he got the final over.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not the same as commentary, but even I feel sometimes as a presenter, some days everything, is just falling into place, and some day you're like, not.
Peter Drury 2022 FIFA World Cup final. He was calling things on another planet that day.
There was poetry in motion,
quotable after quotable.
But Peter Drury is like that most of the time.
But I'm saying he's
even raised the bar.
Exactly, he's a GOAT level commentator already. But that day he was just.
But that game also was that good, right?
Correct, it allowed him.
Even let's say that
The little
Barcelona
boy
Roma
from
game,
Rosario.
Manolas, the Greek god, risen from the ruins, etc., etc. Or the time that he called Ronaldo on his second stint. Madeira, Manchester, Madrid, Turin, Manchester again. Goosebumps. I remember
Yep.
that.
Okay, Greg Chappal is here.
Yes.
He says people love players but not Gigi and Sky who seem yes men. I think it's very unfair.
And also, what yes man, do you realize how much of his career Sky owes to Gigi? Literally yesterday, by the way, and I can tell you this because I happen to support that franchise, KKR put out a very interesting video showing a younger, very young Sky when his first stint at KKR, and you know, the Gigi talking to him, and that time Gigi was the captain. So there is obviously that sort of a bond that they've shared for years. This is not a case of yes men. These two are very close off the field. There's the reason Gambhir enjoys working with Sky, the captain, because he holds Sky, the cricketer, in very high regard. Very high regard.
Okay, Naval Singh from the UAE says China in TT, US in basketball, in India in white ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like this one. Comment of the day, Naval. Ishan Bhatt says, will ICC should now introduce Champions Trophy?
Don't give them ideas. Don't give them ideas. Delete that comment.
Okay, Umansh says, I agree with what Shane said. It's psyche of Indians only. Spanish people were never bored of Rafa's dominance at Roland Garros. They called him a genius.
They were never bored when their team won multiple titles in international either. 2008 Euros, 2010 Euros, 2012 Euros. They celebrated and enjoyed it because it didn't come for years.
Yeah.
They didn't say Spain are ruining football.
Danush says, will Sky make it
Yeah.
to the 2028 Olympics and T20 World Cup?
Maybe not. Yeah, I know he said that's his goal,
Yes.
but I don't think he. Huh?
Siddharth says yes.
He is.
No, he said it, but will he
Sky.
make it?
He will make it.
Okay.
Because see, he's only going to play one format. He's not going to play two formats. He's going to play one format. And now T20s will take a backseat. You're now focusing on the ODI World Cup now from July. So T20s will take a backseat, and see, you're playing Rohit and Virat post 38 in a tougher format. What makes you think that Surya Kumar Yadav, even when he's 38, 39, can't play the 2028 T20 World Cup and the Olympics?
There's a whole bunch of younger players also coming in here. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It won't be that easy. Huh? He's not getting any younger. And we've seen with Indian cricket, they make plans keeping in mind the next trophy. As they took that call on Rohit, I'm guessing they might be making that call with the T20 captain. That's my feeling. I could be wrong.
Could be.
Yes. Ashish Dar says, for board, another multi-bilateral series, India won 8-1.
He's saying those people who are bored of multi-nation dominance or the dominance you're having, don't look at it as an ICC event, look at it as a multi-bilateral.
Can you guys take more comments?
Yes, absolutely.
Come.
So Vishal says the issue isn't India's dominance. I feel it's the declining competition. Stars like Puran and Klaasen choose leagues, making the IPL feel tougher than internationals. That's an interesting way of looking at it, because again, he says that it's declining competition in international cricket that is making the win seem boring, as opposed to just India winning the way they are. Saying that there's no
Then
real
what is the
competition.
way out then, Shane? What is the way out?
No, I agree.
Either
Siddharth.
then you have a structure.
Yeah.
You have a structure where these are the number of internationals you will play in a year across formats. Okay. Give the calendar some structure, then you won't see the likes of Nicholas Puran and all of them just go out. You will see far more participation. Because see, leagues, what is the one thing that is working in favor of them and what is not working in international cricket? Leagues have a proper time window. International cricket doesn't have a proper time window.
Correct.
That is the reason why, okay, I'm earning more playing the leagues, but I'm not earning more by playing in international. Short period, but more money. International cricket spread all over haphazardly, and there is not much of money. I will obviously choose the leagues, right?
Exactly.
International cricket, that's why it is a wake-up call. You have to organize the leagues pretty properly, and you have to organize international cricket properly.
That's absolutely correct. I think that's one key part which no one really looks at, is that the fact that bilateral cricket, more often than not, as you say, not very well structured, so that can be a problem. Anyway, we'll take a couple more questions. There's others as well. Shivam, be as kind as to scroll down. Anuj Sachdeva says, IPLization of the World Cup suddenly after India-South Africa match. What is that supposed to mean?
yeah, I think if I understand this right, this is just a blatant accusation.
Seems so. Steve Ticklow says, Nixer, it was not God's plan. Was it a dig on a player who said it was God's plan after the 2024 T20 World Cup final? Dravid didn't do any interview, but GG is GG. It was, I think, Kohli with said the God's plan line after 24.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
He would have. So many of these momentous occasions now you hear Virat say these things.
Exactly.
But
AJ.
Interviews are a prerogative, my friend.
Huh?
Interviews are a prerogative of the individual. If he wants to give it, he can give it. If he doesn't want to give it, he
Sky
doesn't want
did
to
an
give
interview,
it.
I
He
remember,
can't
the
cast
very next day.
aspersions.
Sky did an interview the very next day. He's
Yeah.
not done any yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
AJ says, I think IPL should have Ranji-like system in which DC, PBKS and LSG should be added in plate and they should have qualifiers to play with the elite teams. That's brutal. That is brutal. Very
I like the IPL format. Keep it as it is.
Yeah, keep it as
Yeah.
it is. Keep it as it is. Machli ki aankh says, Arsenal clearly triggers Shane. Stop crying. Arey bhai sahab, I'm sorry, Arsenal doesn't trigger me. Your most successful period has seen you have three second place finishes. You've done a three-peat. Our worst time period has seen us win the Champions League. It's not levels, there's levels to this. Steve Ticklow says, Nick sir, 2026 versus 2024 team on Indian pitches, who will win? Versus 2026 versus 2024 team on West Indies, US pitches, who will win? Answer the debate, it will be 1-1. No, I agree. If you take this team and put them in 2024 like situations, I don't think they win. Similarly, if you take the 2024 team and put them in these conditions, I'm not so sure they win.
But Shane, this team managed to win the Asia Cup as well, right? Those conditions were starkly different.
That's true. So you never really know.
You needed to recalibrate, and in this edition as well, I would say you got a few
pitches.
of those tacky wickets. The USA game is a very good example. I'm not saying that the
Pakistan.
opposition may necessarily have pushed you, but the conditions did challenge you. So
Maybe not.
I actually think, because of the levels that you've touched, 26 I think looks a more menacing team to me.
Yeah.
It may not have the likes of the Virats of the world or the Rohits of the world, but even then, this team is only going to get more experience with time. That team had people who had fully matured. This team had somebody like an Abhishek, an Ishan, a Tilak. These guys are playing their first tournament.
Exactly.
And look what they've done as a unit.
Correct. So that's been our take on it. You guys have also shared a lot of your thoughts, of which we are pretty appreciative. So thank you guys so much for joining us on this edition of the Dugout. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did presenting it to you guys.
Yeah.
And as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, follow us on socials. Harshit, take it away.
Yeah, we're only a few days away before we get into the IPL mode, and that's when this whole banter about whether there should be plate system or not, we'll take those things forward. But for now, we're taking your leave. Siddharth, keep that smile on. It's been good seeing you from there. That's not to say that we mind having you back, but
Not at all.
good job being over there and doing whatever work that you've done for us. Shivam wants to come in. Yes, Shivam comes in with a reminder that while you see all the reports that have been done by Siddharth from the ground, remember we also have those interviews that are in as well. We've spoken with Sanju Samson's father, also have spoken with Gautam Gambhir, who in my opinion has given you a lot of good talking points. Watch that interview. It's a good one. 13 minutes of time is all you need to spare.
Only Sports Today has done it. The first interview by Gautam Gambhir as head coach.
Yeah.
First
And
interview
it
ever.
goes beyond. I'll give you a little hook over
Yes.
here. It goes beyond what you just saw yesterday. It talks about 2027 preparations as well, and what time is it that blueprint could be. So yeah, watch that interview. Plenty of other stuff coming your way as well. We'll see you now in the studio, Siddharth. Have a good day off tomorrow. Have a safe flight. Thank you for your coverage, and to you guys as well. You guys were as central to this coverage as anything else. So thank you. Good night. Nandri, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair. Eat your vegetables.
Don't trouble your mother and subscribe to Sports Today.
Bye.